Hey everyone, it's Jared. It's currently my pleasure to be serving as president of Circular Congregational Church, and I'm filming today alongside our treasurer Kim to provide a quarterly update. As a council, we had committed to providing quarterly updates on where things stand in terms of life at Circular, and that's what we're offering today, including an exciting update on our search for an intentional interim minister. And so when I think about the last quarter, I think the big word that comes to mind is transition. It was the beginning of the summer when Jeremy announced that it was his intention to leave the senior minister role at Circular so he could move to Maryland to be with Sarah, to be closer to the health care he needs, and to have time with family as his life and work enters this next phase. And so over the summer, I'm just really pleased how we were able to soak up our time with Jeremy, Sarah, and Ian, and really celebrate them. And so my gratitude to so many across the Circular community who made that a very special season for all of us here. Of course, coming out of that, we also had to figure out what's happening next in terms of leadership for our church. So we held some Q&A sessions, and then as a council we voted that our next best step would be to hire an intentional interim minister. Now, each of those words carries some meaning. Intentional being that this is a person who would come for a transitional period and would not be considered for a settled senior minister role. Interim, both in that their time here would be temporary, could be 12 months, 18 months. That depends on where we are in our process. But also interim in that they are here to do some specific things with us as a congregation during a time of transition. So an intentional interim minister, in addition to assuming many of the senior minister responsibilities, such as those previously held by Jeremy, they are also here to work with us, to work with staff, to help us prepare the way for the next settled senior minister. And so this is an opportunity where we have the chance to ask some big questions, such as, who are we as a church community at this moment in time? Where are we heading? And what does that mean for the type of leadership that we may need next as a church community? And so we are looking for an intentional interim minister to help us with all of those things during this phase as we're trying to find the next right settled senior minister for us and get clear about what that means. And the really exciting update with that is several of us have been meeting as a committee to think through what are the attributes that we're most looking for Circular in this time of transition. And after that, reviewing resumes and having interviews. And we are so excited to be bringing someone down to Charleston to introduce to our Circular community. This person is the Reverend Jill Small. She has an extensive background and training in intentional interim work. She also is just incredibly thoughtful, kind-hearted, and I think really rigorous in thinking and what she brings to her work in the church. Our committee has had the opportunity to have multiple interviews with her and several interactions. And I will just say that we have left each of them really impressed and enthusiastic about what she could offer to Circular. And so on November 2nd, mark your calendars, we'll be having the Reverend Jill Smalls come down and join us from where she's currently living in Maine. And she will have that time to teach on that Sunday, have some interaction with us as a community, and it'll be a chance for us to get to know her and her to get to know us. So we're really looking forward to where we are, and I'm just so pleased we've found such an amazing person to come down and introduce to all of us here in Charleston. That's not the only thing, of course, that's happened this quarter. We've had a consistent worship time over the summer at the 11 a.m. spot, and based on how that went with good attendance and enthusiasm, we have adopted a proposal as a council to maintain that 11 a.m. spot. So thanks to all who participated. We're also in the time of house meetings for the Charleston Area Justice Ministry. We've just had a really wonderful season with great things happening at worship and beyond. So I'll leave it there, share all this gratitude to all of you, and turn it over to Kim to talk about where we stand financially. Thanks so much.
Hello, I'm Kim Harvey. As treasurer, it's my privilege to share quarterly updates with you. Apologies, this is coming out a bit later than planned. That's because the Financial Mission Group has been working to finalize our aspirational 2026 budget, while also ensuring this year's resources are being used to maximize our impacts. I'll start with the financial state of Circular as we exit the third quarter, and then touch on the stewardship campaign that was kicked off at church this past Sunday. Third quarter income totaled $206,502 versus a budget of $230,979, meaning we grossed nearly 90% of our anticipated income. Pledge giving through the third quarter stands right at 75%, which means we're right where we should be. Non-pledge giving continues to trend lower than anticipated, and rental income also declined this past quarter. Expenses for the third quarter totaled $211,157, which is 92% of the budget. Net revenue for the third quarter was negative $4,655, while net revenue through year to date is actually a positive $14,694. So we're doing okay. Our bank accounts are healthy, and to generate a bit of interest, say that 3 times fast, we've created 3 90-day rotating CDs with one maturing each month so that we can have access to those funds when and if the need arises. As we think beyond 2025 about how we can dream God's dream, we are entering the season of stewardship. If we aspire to grow and expand our impact as a church, community partner, and instrument of justice, we need an aspirational budget to match our intentions. This year, our aspirational budget is $993,515, which is an increase of 8% or just under $70,000 from the 2025 budget. An email went out Sunday morning with more details about the proposed budget and a note with some top-line thoughts from me. The intention is to be transparent with our numbers, and any input or thoughts you have or feedback is very welcome. It's a special time in the life of Circular when members and friends make a financial pledge to fund the ministries of the church. Over the next few weeks, speakers and writers will share why it's been meaningful for them to pledge. Circular's stewardship campaign provides the opportunity, the privilege, and the responsibility to support what we value and hold most dear. I'm asking you to help us dream God's dream. No gift is too small and no dream is too big. Thank you for your time.